Hello, I'm the Sandman. I'm a sleep technologist and I'm here to explain why you are having dry mouth when you use your CPAP. So, it's important to understand why everyone with obstructive sleep apnea tends to wake up with really dry mouth. And I mean really dry mouth, right? You wake up, your mouth is parched, sometimes your throat severely dry, sometimes painful. What causes that? Why are you having dry mouth? Well, if you think about it, everyone with obstructive sleep apnea is their airway's closing. No, your airway's closing, you can't breathe, right? So when you're not breathing, your oxygen starts to plummet, right? So eventually, your brain is going to make you breathe. And so you're going to gasp for air to get oxygen back in your blood, right? You need oxygen back in your blood because you've not been breathing. So you're going to gasp. And when most people gasp, they gasp through their mouth. You know, you don't gasp through your nose. You're not sitting there going when you're gasping for air. So when you do that all night long, that airflow is going to cause you to have dry mouth. It's going to suck all the moisture out of your airway. That airflow in general causes the dry mouth, right? So there's one thing you really need to understand before we get going on this is that airflow equals dryness. So let's give an example that may make more sense outside the context of apneas and CPAP, right? So if you steam your carpet, you might want to dry your carpet quicker, right? You want to get back and walk on it. So a lot of people will put fans blowing on their carpet to dry it out quicker, right? That's airflow. So that airflow is going to dry your carpet out quicker. If you go to the dentist, they might be working on your tooth, might be doing a cavity. They're going to blow air on your tooth with that little air gun to make your tooth and surrounding area dry. It's going to dry it out. So use that same idea when you're gasping through your mouth all night, that you're going to have really dry mouth. If you're using CPAP, which is increased airflow in general, now keep in mind when I say airflow, that is different than pressure. Pressure and airflow are a little different, right? If you have a seal with your CPAP mask, you're going to have more pressure, and that's actually what you want to have for your treatment to be good. Now, that's going to be for later videos, but for now, you want to know that pressure isn't going to make your mouth as dry as airflow. So when I say airflow, usually this tends to be with people that are using nasal pillows or nasal masks, right? Those are the ones that go under your nose and the ones that go over your nose, right? Not covering your mouth. That'd be an oral nasal or full face mask. So why is that? Well, if you open your mouth with a nasal pillow or a nasal mask, that airflow is going to be greater than when you weren't even using the CPAP. So now you've got this intense flow of air going up your nose and out your mouth. That's going to make your mouth and throat even drier than when you were not using your CPAP. So when anyone comes in and they're like, my mouth is extremely dry when I use my CPAP, and I usually will say or ask, are you using a nasal pillow or a nasal mask by chance? And I would say 90% of the time, it is a nasal pillow or nasal mask they're using, and that's what's going on. Your mouth is opening, and it's causing increased airflow. Now, when that happens, also, you're probably going to be waking up more during the night because, well, you've lost your pressure because now you have airflow. Your seal is broken, and you're losing pressure. And if you lose pressure, you're going to start having apneas again. And, of course, dry mouth. Not only that, but your water chamber will be more empty. It's going to use more water out of your water chamber. So again, when people come in, they're like, I have really dry mouth when I wake up and my water chamber's empty every morning. That's a good sign. You need to get that fixed. Now, there are several ways you can fix that. I mean, obviously a full face mask would be beneficial in that case because if your mouth comes open, the seal's not broken. Thus, not a lot of increased airflow. You can use chin straps with that. There could be some settings on the machine that your CPAP machine that they could tweak to maybe help that out, such as Flex or EPR. So I highly suggest you reach out to your DME company where you got your CPAP device or your provider to talk about these things and see if you can get this corrected, because this can really make your CPAP experience really negative, right? And you're not going to be really getting the treatment you need and deserve. It's not going to be going very smoothly. Keep in mind, even if you do fix the mask, let's say you fix the mask, or you know your mouth is not opening, on your reports it's showing that you're not really leaking too bad, you're not getting any warnings, you're like, well, I'm doing all that, but I'm still having dry mouth. Well, then maybe that's when you need to look at settings and see what your humidification level is on your CPAP device. You might want to increase that a little bit. Not talking about the CPAP tubing, that's going to be for another video, but your CPAP humidifier level in general. And then also medications. Medications can also cause dry mouth. So there's a lot of them out there. So if your medication reads that some of the side effects are dry mouth, that is another factor you got to think about outside of what I've already discussed. So there you have it. There is probably the biggest reason you're having really bad dry mouth when you're using your CPAP device. So if you like this video and you want more tips, please like and leave some comments below on any other subject you might have some confusion on. This is a newer channel, but I am going to be going over plenty of tips and tricks with sleep, CPAP usage, masks, and everything above. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.